And we're live. Cappuccino Cunnilingus episode 14, right? 14, I think.
I don't know. You don't ask me to keep count.
No, normally I have Mitch for that, but I think it's 14. We just got done doing our show here at Players Club Billiards in Melbourne. Joining me this week, I have the longtime funny comedian Jay Alvarez.
Hey, everybody.
And I talked to you last week about coming on, and I was very surprised that you were just like, yeah, I'd love to come on. I was just like, I didn't think you would be like that easy to get guests on the podcast. So,
well, the fact that you hold me at a level where I'm considered a guest and not just some guy left over after the show is amazing. Thanks for that. Yeah, man, no, I'm always happy to, like, if somebody's got something going on, I'm happy to support it. I'm happy to take part of it. It gets, selfishly, it gets my name out to, I'm sure you've got 7 people who listen to your podcast.
7-ish, yeah.
No, and I'm happy to just support, and it feels kind of nice if people want to talk to me.
Yeah. Now, you had a wonderful spotlight set tonight, and our theme tonight was traveling. And you've done a lot of traveling in the recent years, right?
Yeah, I just finished about 8 months as a truck driver.
Oh my God!
Yeah, and then before I just used to travel back and forth. I was in the hotel industry, so that helped a lot.
And now, were you working hotels in the area, or were you doing like?
No, I got a cubicle customer service desk job.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's cool. It pays some of the bills.
All right. And what was the other thing? How long have you been doing comedy?
It's about 7.5 years now. Yeah, I started February 2009. So it's about right.
That was a good time to start. Mm-hmm. That was just when everything was starting to come back up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wanted to have you on because you're my first, other than doing the live show here, you're my first, comedian podcast guest. Thank you, Amber. And I just wanted to get to know you better and just, tell your story.
All right. Where do you want me to start, man?
Start where you're from and how you came up to be, starting comedy.
So, I grew up in Miami. Joined the Army for a little stint, and it's weird. I got one of those stories. I did comedy first twice. When I was in the Army, I was in Baghdad in 2003, and right around Christmas time, our unit was doing some talent show, just kind of get your mind off of the funk.
Yeah.
And the day before the talent show, my platoon sergeant calls me into his office, and he's this really built Italian dude from Brooklyn, and he looks a little like Joe Pesci. Yeah. He's like Joe Pesci on steroids, this guy. All right, and he's just he's an intimidating man dressed like a tree in the desert, So he looks at me. He calls me in his office. I'm standing there. He's leaned up against his desk, and he says, "Hey, Alvarez, do you think you're funny?" How do you answer that? How do you answer that question? I said, no, not at all. I never once thought, I've never said a funny thing. I'm trying to save my ass, and he stopped me. He's like, listen, I think you're funny. Everybody laughs when you talk to them. I want you to go on stage at the talent show tomorrow.
Breaking shit again, Duncan?
The joys of live podcasting, ladies and gentlemen. So he told me, he's like, I want you to go do stand-up comedy at the same tomorrow. I said, I don't know what that is. So I had this Carlos Mencia CD that no one else had. So I just memorized 5 minutes of it and delivered it in front of 300 soldiers in the middle of Baghdad. And it killed. It was amazing. From that minute, I knew this is what I wanted to do. I just wanted to do it with my material. You know what I mean?
As opposed to somebody else's, which is ironic.
Which, yeah, of course it was Mencia. So, the karma kind of balances out. But yeah, no, the next time I actually did it for real was about 5 years later. John Martin's Irish Pub in Coral Gables.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had they used to do an open mic every Thursday, and that was my first. It was Freddie Sevens, who runs a great room. He put me up for the first time, and it was my material, and it was pretty good. I actually did really well. which is the worst thing that can happen to a new comic.
Oh yeah.
Because I had like planned this set, I'd written it out for like months. I had sat on this.
Yeah.
And now it went over well, so I'm the funniest thing to happen to comedy since Carlin. And I went up the next week full of this hubris and didn't prepare anything. And I ate the biggest dick anyone's ever seen. I almost never did this again.
Oh man.
And so it was humbling, and I think with that, just knowing exactly right off the bat, oh, this is my line. I think that helped me. I've just had to monitor that line every time I go on stage.
And then since that day, you've been doing this actively. You've been coming out to shows like a couple times a week.
Off and on. At the time in Miami, there were a lot of independent rooms. The Miami Improv was big for like newer faces. They were running bringer rooms once a week. I had like about my second, third year, I kind of went off and on just because of work and personal stuff going on.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of guys do that. Like if you talk to a comic who's been doing it long enough, I think they all have that time where I didn't really get out too much.
Yeah.
And I think it's really the people who get through that really last. That really stick it out.
When you're starting out, like the first 2 or 3 years when you do this, this isn't something that you're gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna make $20 from this show, I'm gonna make $50 on this weekend,
right.
And then the next weekend I've got $100 spot here. It's very cut and dry. You're making $50 a month maybe doing a show somewhere.
If you're making that in your first 2 years, you're good luck to you.
Yeah,
that's good on you. I was getting felt up from behind, like a lady. If you're making money in your first 2 years, congratulations. I didn't get my first check until I was 6 years in.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's a long, grueling road. If you're in comedy to get rich quick, you're in the wrong line of work, man. This ain't it. And it's cool. It's humbling, and it's cool because I can't speak for anybody else. It really helped me kind of find myself and find my peace with myself.
Yeah.
And that's where you get where it's cathartic. Like I really had to dig deep to figure out what made me want to keep going on stage, and then what gets me to connect with people. Because at first it was just stupid jokes I'd write down. Now I'm actually talking, about things that happen. I'm talking about things that happened in conversation before I got on stage, and to get the confidence where I think I'm good enough to sell that. It's as confident as that is, it's actually you have to humble yourself really well and know like I really think I can pull this off.
And a lot of that comes from the heart too. Like if you don't believe what you're saying, or if you're not taking in like the content that you're giving to everybody, it feels like your heart's not in it, and the audience can feel that.
It's like a sales job, you know what I mean? Like the best salespeople are people who sell what they believe in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you don't believe in yourself, and again, it takes a while it took me a while to get there. If you have to get to a point where you believe in yourself enough to like, hey, I think I can do this.
Yeah.
Even if there's a ton of humility in it, at least humility is good for you.
Yeah.
But if you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to do a good job selling yourself, and that's all we're doing up here.
Yeah.
For much less money than some other professions where you sell yourself.
Oh yeah. And Rough Rider started, and I just completely lost my train of thought.
Love you, DMX.
When it came, and you said it was 6 years before you got your first real paycheck?
Yeah, 6 years before I got my first actual pay. Like I had made money before for bringing people in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or for working a door at one place, they would pay me and then they let me do a set. But to actually get paid to be funny, like, hey, I want you to come on stage, talk on my microphone, and I will pay you to do that. Yeah, that took me 6 years. I didn't have to bring anybody. I didn't have to work a door. I didn't have to seat people. I just had to go there, show up, and be funny.
And that was down in Miami?
That was actually here. That was in Melbourne, actually. That was in Melbourne. That was in Sebastian, Florida.
Was that Captain Hiram's?
No, it was a bar. It was a little wine bar. I can't remember the name of the place. Sebastian Wine Inlet. Yeah, it's right on. And it's not there anymore. It's a new place. I think it's called Blue Wine or something. But yeah, the owner used to do a comedy show once a month, and he hired me on the feature. He asked me to do a half hour. It was an abysmal half hour. I was absolutely not prepared to do such a thing. Again, another humbling experience. Yeah. But he paid me. At the end of it, he said, hey man, it wasn't the greatest show, I'm not going to lie to you, but I like what you got. Keep it up. Here's your check. So I had one job and I failed, but I still got paid, so I kept at it.
I mean, I've been coming here for 2-3 months now, and like this is like my first. These 3 months have been very eye-opening about how to speak to people and how to maintain stage presence and how to direct the energy in a room. You know, especially when it comes to podcasting, like that's one of the main reasons I wanted to get up here, and I wanted to, you know, not try my hand, but like I wanted to make it a learning experience. I wanted to figure out, all right, how can I learn to lead a conversation or lead something into a place where, you know, I feel comfortable enough with the material that I'm putting out there. And I think stand-up comedy and podcasting go hand in hand when it comes to that.
Right. It's it's a big deal. Learning to talk to people, especially, that's a huge thing because you have to be palatable. When I first started, I grew up in a hood. It wasn't nice, and I spoke like it. Like my first hotel job, I wasn't allowed to speak to guests for 3 months. They said, listen, you look clean, but you don't sound clean. So we prefer if you kept your talking down to a minimum until you kind of pick up our style of communicating with people. And they legit put me in classes. Like, it was a great company. It, you know, to a level it was insulting. Yeah. But to a bigger level, they thought I was good enough to succeed, so they invested in it. Which was a horrible thing to do. You shouldn't invest in it. Unless you're a booker or at a comedy club, and then absolutely invest in it. So it was cool, and because of that, I actually did learn how to talk to people. I did learn how to control a room. And it wasn't just me in these classes. Like, they actually had like supervisory classes and customer service classes that they gave internally. Yeah. And it was very cool because I was doing that at the same time I started doing stand-up, so I was able to instantly apply that. And leaps and bounds. Because I got on stage where the only people who related to me were people who grew up in like Opelika or Hialeah. Yeah. And then I was able to come up here after a couple of years, and people, you know, could understand me, which was a new trick. I learned how to, you know, talk a little slower on stage. You know, the moving around, the body language, that stage presence is huge. I ain't ready. I used to walk around I used to talk with my head down and my hands in my pocket. Yeah. So it's cool because what you learn in life, you can apply on stage, and what you learn on stage, you can apply in life. You're more confident. I got my first promotion because of comedy. But yeah, it's very cool. You learn a lot about yourself and dealing with people. That's probably one of the cooler things I've learned about this.
And this was at a hotel where, like, you said this was at a hotel where they were teaching you this stuff?
Yeah, it was a big corporate hotel. I won't say the name of the company, but yeah. It was a bigger hotel in South Beach. It was my first hotel job. And, you know, after talking to them, they're like, we like you, but we need to polish you up a bit. And they put me up in a lot of supervisory classes. And like I said, it's just like, you want to enunciate your R. Me and the letter R and I did not get along for a very long portion of my life.
Oh, man. I remember you were telling me a story about, it might have been like 2 weeks ago or something. You were on stage, or I was sitting next to you at the bar, and you were telling me a story about working security at a hotel.
Oh yeah,
that was the job.
Yeah, that was the job. Yeah, okay. That was the same place actually.
I was wondering. I was like, is that the same place? Like,
yeah. I worked in the hotel industry for 10 years, so there's never any telling really. But yeah, that was absolutely the same job. It was a real cool. Hotel jobs are fun, especially when your job goes to the front of the house and the back of the house, where you're not always on. You get to cut loose in the back a lot. It's a real cool. It's a cool people industry.
Oh yeah.
I like to call it.
Yeah. And then what was it? Like I feel like a lot of the material you put out there is relatable enough to the point where you're not sticking in one vein and are being known for that. You're very wide with how you present your stuff, and it shows when, you know, you have a room like Players Club where, you know, it's a comics room, but if you go to somewhere like open mics or Old School Pizza, it's a room for a variety of ages. It's, you know, from old to young. You can hit every demographic there.
That comes with experience, man. There's, like I said, there's a lot. You gotta cut your teeth for a long time in this to get again, I like this word palatable. I mean, I didn't start off that way. I couldn't, like, if I saw old people in a crowd, I got scared. I'm like, how am I going to relate to these old people? You know, at the time I started, I was 25. You know, to me, old people were 30. Like, what the fuck do I know? You know what I mean? I'm 25. And I'm gonna go talk to these people that are much older than me, much wiser than I. You know, but you know, you do those rooms. You know, start doing, you know, quote unquote urban rooms, which in Miami is basically all you have. And then you move. I went from Miami. I moved to New York, and that's where I got my first like mostly Caucasian room. I'd never done a show for mostly Caucasian people before. So that was, you know, I was the only minority. That was a new thing for me. So and they couldn't relate to me. I had no idea what the hell I was talking about. So I had to cut my teeth there, and I had to learn how to talk to those people. You know, and then you get rooms where it's mostly like retired people, especially being here in Florida. That's a neat little trick to learn. And really, you know, it all comes down to, again, just being comfortable with yourself. And again, that just takes a long time to do. You gotta know, you gotta trust yourself to be able to be relatable. Because I can talk about being 25 to a room full of 30-year-olds, you know, because they were once 25. As long as I'm true to like whatever thought I'm having, or whatever emotion I'm going through, chances are they've had something, if not that close. You know, and again, that just comes with confidence, and you only get confident by doing it a shit ton of times. You know, I don't know how close I am to my 10,000 hours, but damn it, it feels close. It's hard to get it at 5 minutes at a time.
5 minutes at a time, you get there. It's.
You know, I'm luckily I've only got a couple of half hours under my belt, so that helps. But yeah, it's a long road, and you know, I'm still learning things about myself through this.
Has there been anybody like in the comedy community that's like inspired you or driven you to be better, or it's given you like the motivation to be like, all right, let me try this next time I do this? The
first compliment that I took seriously actually came from Louis Anderson. He was running a boot camp with Kyle Cease, and yeah, I regret paying for it, I do, but I don't regret being there. I actually did learn a lot. It's kind of, there's a little bit of a stigma about going to those, but I did learn a little bit about that from that. But the first compliment I ever got paid was from Louis, and it was I did a 5-minute set, you know, in front of him and a couple other guys, and the first thing he said to me is, "I love your stage presence. You are very likable on stage. I liked you. As soon as you got on stage and you smiled, I liked you, and none of the stuff you talked about threw me off. Like, you were really honest, and I was like, oh, this guy's going through stuff." And that, you know, coming from Louis Anderson, I was ready to just run in front of oncoming traffic. I'm done. My life goes out on a high note. Tell my son I love him. Remember me fondly. You know what I mean? So that, yeah, I don't know. I was like 2 years in at that point, and that let me know I was kind of on the right track. I'm like, all right, I must be doing something right. And then after that, yeah, it's just run-ins with people, you know, local comics, other guys that I started with that are on better level, you know, or that were already in it when I started down in Miami. You got like Oni Perez and Forrest Shaw, who's been on Conan a few times. Dave Williamson's got a special out on a CD. You know, those guys kind of really took, you know, gave me a lot of really good tips early on and told me, hey, you know, keep doing this. You've got some talent in this. And then when I moved to New York, one guy that was always really good to me was Greer Barnes. Greer Barnes. He was on the Chappelle Show a little bit. Really cool guy. I remember the first time I saw him was on TV when I was 16. And it was on one of the Spanish channels, but they had an English stand-up comedy half hour. And I've been a fan of his since I was 16, and I met him when I was 30 in New York City. And I told him, no shame. I just said, like, dude, I've been a fan of yours since I was 16. And he's like, God damn, how old are you? How long have I been fucking doing this? You know, and I instantly felt bad for, you know, like, calling him a hero. But yeah, I like, now looking back, it's like, yeah, I was a monster. Like, why am I not better known? Like, it's like, shit, yeah, why aren't you? maybe I'm making my goals the wrong people. No, but it was, but he was always very good to me. Every time he saw me go up, he said, hey man, that's good shit, keep it up, keep getting up behind mics. So, you know, getting that encouragement from people was always really fun. And then the local guys, I always get a lot of, you know, like you and the other guys around here are always quick to compliment me, so that's always nice.
I know, I love when somebody's doing good work, even if they think they know that they're doing good work, just like paying it forward and just being like, hey, you know, you're doing good work and I really like what you're doing. It enforces what they think, and it'll enforce, you know, the opinion in the room too.
Right.
You know, if somebody's doing something good, you'll get more good out of that.
Yeah, and you notice it in crowds too. Like tonight was a small night. Tonight was what, 8 audience members, and even half of them showed up later.
Yeah.
But you can see the effect when the audience member knows who the comics are. You know, the audience knows who the comics are.
Yeah.
And you can see a total different reaction when the audience noticed that the comics were coming in for a comic on stage.
Yeah.
They paid more attention, and then when they saw everybody walk away, that it's just having that, knowing that, you know, being on stage, knowing that, hey, the other comics are here. That's pretty cool, you know, and that is something a huge compliment. Yeah, and then, like I said, it's stuff like that. It's just like maybe I should keep up in this.
Yeah. Now, you've been doing 7.5 years. Is there any point in the future that you think, like, all right, maybe I'll just take a break for a little bit and then I'll get back to this? Or do you think this is something that it's gonna...
I did that recently by accident. Like I said, when I was a truck driver, I came into it with the idea of, you know what? I mean, I'm only gonna be an open micer. I'm not gonna be anywhere long enough to develop a name. But at least driving a truck, I can travel. And if I'm in a city on a night with an open mic, at least I can hit that up. You know what I mean? Kind of take it on the road a little bit. That was a horrible idea. Because for 8 months, I went on stage probably like 3 times in those 8 months. That was because, you know, I think about it, but it makes perfect sense. When you're a trucker, you're on a pretty tight schedule.
Yeah.
And, you know, that never came into my thinking. So for like 8 months, I stopped doing it, and it showed, you know what I mean? So when it comes to where I am now, which isn't really anywhere, but I'm starting to get noticed, which is kind of nice. So, you know, looking at where I am now, if I took another break like that, I'd lose it all, and I'm not ready to do that. I like where I'm at for once. I'm not ready to quit my job just yet. You know, I ain't paying the bills just yet, but I'm paying for gas, which is nice. You know, that's new.
It's a start.
Yeah, it's a start somewhere. I want to get a better car. I want to move to a better city. To be honest with you, I love Melbourne, Florida. I really got my rocks here, but I mean, yeah, I need to get to a better city with more paying opportunities.
When you have Orlando, Daytona Beach, and West Palm Beach all within like 70 miles of where you are,
yeah,
it's like I could do this, or
it's nice, but I'm one of those. I'd rather be in a city. I'd rather be in New York and have the opportunity to get past that a few clubs. Or,
yeah.
I don't know. I want to say LA, but it seems like there's an exodus out of LA right now. A lot of people I know are moving to New York, so I'm not sure that I want to go out to LA anymore.
LA's got this weird thing going on right now where it is the golden age of comedy there.
Yeah.
But there's not enough resource for everybody.
Yeah.
It's a town that's dying on the simple fact that there's not enough resource, and the quality of people there just aren't able to make up for that. New York, despite New York being like a little smelly and like a little bit
too, by the way.
What's up?
No more fucking shorts on my stage.
All I own is shorts.
Better get some sweatpants.
He's a new sensation.
He really is, right? Well, at least he's got closed-toe shoes. I'll give him that.
I was like, I'll just put shoes on.
For those listening live, we're getting shit to Robert right now.
Like I just told Wob over here, the reason I say no shorts is because, I mean, not to sound arrogant, but I'm trying to train you guys. That I try to run my shows like real shows, even though they're open mics and showcases and shit like that. That way, when you guys go out and do get fucking gigs and do get fucking things outside of here, I don't get phone calls from people in Orlando or Tampa or whatever going, what are you teaching these guys? They're wearing shorts on my fucking stage. Because I'm not the only one that feels that way about shorts. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, you know, I'm not coming down on you. I'm just letting you know.
How about khaki shorts?
I'm not taking straps.
No.
The only people that are allowed to show their knees on stage have to have a vagina.
So I can't like wear a kilt now.
Now, you know, if it's part of your religion, I'll accept it. Faggots eating faggots.
Alright, have a good night, Duncan.
So that was Duncan J being sexist, misogynistic, and racist all at once.
Just a normal Tuesday.
Yeah, it's a Tuesday here in Melbourne, Florida.
Yeah.
Come see our beaches.
The good and the bad.
Yeah, don't wear shorts on stage. I don't remember where we were when we got interrupted. Where would you like to take this, Robert?
About how I shaved, but the picture was
Where was I going?
the picture I have now is also
Where you started?
Oh, we were talking about LA. LA and its lack of resources, yes.
New York, just overall, is able to sustain the number of people that live there simply for the fact that there is more around it and more access in and out than there is in LA.
Yeah, I'll give you that. And, I mean, yeah, I lived in New York. My favorite thing about it was transportation. I don't need a car like you need in LA. You know, it's it's $120. I think it's a little more now for like a monthly pass. That monthly pass will get me back and forth across the city all day and night. And I don't have to worry about a car. I don't have to worry about gas. Yeah, rent's a lot more expensive, but there are some bills I can cut out that make it a little more feasible to do comedy and not die, essentially. Yeah.
Plus, there's water in New York.
Yeah, it's an island. I'll drink salt water if I need to. I'm not dying from thirst. I might die from drinking the salt water or the Hudson. I mean, let's be honest. You're probably going to die from drinking water from the Hudson.
If you're drinking Hudson water, you are in a bad spot.
I mean, it's just Poland Springs without the bottle. To the good people of Poland Springs, I love your product. Please don't sue me.
Nobody listens to this. We're fine.
All right, fine.
Yeah, New York's coming up. New York's always been a great comedy spot, but there is a fair amount of people that are coming from LA to New York now.
Yeah.
And I think that also has to do with like acting jobs. It also has to do with not just being a stand-up comic, but even writing for a show, or getting a guest spot, even if it's like a 5 lines and under.
Yeah.
You're still there. You're still out there.
There's a running joke before I got canceled when you told people, "Oh, you're a comic." Yeah. Huh. What episode of SVU were you in?
Yeah.
There's a little running joke there. The end game is never doing stand-up. I mean, at least it's not mine. That's never been my end game. I want to write. I do want to start picking up screenwriting and start putting, just start delivering a more diverse range of content. You know what I mean? Not just. I love stand-up. I love doing it. It's absolutely who I am. But yeah, the goal is to do more. You know what I mean? Like, cliche as it sounds, write for SNL is like my dream job. It's a nightmare of an existence.
Yeah.
But fuck, I would love to get to that level where I'm doing that stuff.
I'd also argue that even though LA it probably has the same number of clubs or even more, in New York you could get away with doing a 8 o'clock spot here, going uptown, doing a 9:15, coming back down, doing a 10:30.
Oh yeah.
And then going back across town to finish out the night at 11:30.
Yeah, oh yeah, all the time.
You can't do that in LA. The traffic is too bad.
Yeah, you can't put up with that. Yeah, New York all the damn time. You hop on a city bike, you can get anywhere you need to go. And that was one of the cool things. Like, I remember on a Tuesday, even as an open micer, I was doing 5 mics a night on Tuesdays. You know what I mean? Like, that was a lazy day. So it was really cool to have that opportunity and do that, because again, it's all about that 10,000 hours. So when you're doing 5-10 minute spots a night,
I'm like, no.
When you're doing 5-10 minute spots a night, it gets the, it's still only 25 minutes, but shit, it adds up after a while. So yeah, it makes sense that a lot of people are going to New York now. It just sucks because I was really hoping that it wouldn't be just well, who knows? Maybe there's such a drought in LA. Maybe if I go, it might work to my benefit. I'm not that good. It probably won't. But it's nice to hope.
Yeah. A lot of other places that are popping up, like even with Duncan going out to Boise, there's a lot of comics that go up there just to do like one-off spots and then come down to Denver.
Yeah.
Boise's up and coming. Denver's getting really established. I see Austin come up a lot.
Austin's doing great.
And I hear Nashville is also another spot.
Nashville's doing what? Atlanta's always been a pretty good spot.
Atlanta's
also.
great too, yeah.
Chicago, you can't go to that Chicago.
Oh, no.
It's just too fucking cold.
Yeah.
I could never live there. I couldn't do it.
Go, do the shows in the summer.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So go book me. That's the next step. Hey guys, watch my tape, please.
Do you have a tape?
I don't. I'm the most ill-prepared stand-up comic in the world. Like, it's all these like competitions, and like, I mean, the competitions are cheesy, but like, you know, a lot of I'm starting to get to where, hey, I've heard of you. Do you have a promo you can send me? And I do not. Like, I have no press kit, nothing. I don't have a headshot. I don't have a bio, and I need to get on that. That's where I'm lacking. But that's soon to come. that's gonna come real quick.
Is there anything that like you wanted to talk about, like with stand up, or like where you wanted to go with it? Like, is there anything that we haven't talked about yet?
Nah, man, nah. Like I said, it's just been cool, otherworldly. Like I said, you discover yourself when you have to bury yourself out on stage.
It's very introspective.
Yeah, and as hacky as it is to say that, it is. I mean, if you're doing it right, I think people who do it like for 2 years and quit, and that, you know, outside of family situations, I know people have family and life catches up, but some people just like, oh, you know, I was bored with it. You're doing it wrong. And that's fine, because that's, you know, like I said, those are the ones that don't end up sticking with it, and that's what tripped me out when I hit I did a 7-year anniversary show here.
Yeah.
And somebody asked me, like, hey, how many comics did you start with that are still doing this? Shit, not many. I remember when I started, there were a ton of us. Out of comics that are still doing it, even at an open mic level still. Probably no 6. Really? 6 guys? Yeah, that I started off at the same time with that are still doing it. Some of them incredibly successful. Some of them, you know, that are still open miking. But yeah, it's not a very large number of people that stick it out. So that's kind of reassuring also. Yeah. You know, like, hey, maybe I'm doing something right if I'm still doing this.
Yeah. And what would you say is like your favorite moment? Maybe not favorite moment, but like, what's your favorite time that you were on stage where it's just like, I'm never gonna be able to forget this one?
Oh man. Are we still recording?
You're good, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to make sure it's still going.
Damn, dude. Okay, definitely that first time I told you about in Baghdad, when you know, when I basically ripped off Carlos Mencia for 5 minutes. I got such a good reaction from that. Again, nobody knew. Nobody else said it. But I mean, just the like, holy shit, is this what these people feel like every day? Holy shit, this is what I want to do. So that was the first time I had a taste of it. And then the first legit, like I said, was my material. I think it was at the Orlando Improv about 2 years ago. I was doing and it's hard to not do well in that room. It really is. But I did a 5-minute set that got 3 applause breaks in it. You know what I mean? And then you know, like a huge applause after I got off stage. And I was like, holy shit! I just did that to a room full of people, like a large room full of people. And this time it wasn't off of Carlos Mencia jokes. This was actually off of my stuff, you know? Wow, hold on, maybe, and that was my first, maybe I'm really onto something here. And that was 5 years in. You know what I mean? So again, it's a long game. And I'm happy it happened then, not earlier, because then I would have just got full of myself. At least this way, when it happened, I went on stage the next night and I was like, wait, no, don't, I'm not that great. Like, it was, you know, I already had that humbling experience pretty early on, you know. So that was, but yeah, that was my, I'm on this. I'm on to this.
Now, other than New York and Florida, have there been any other places like you've done shows, or any place that like you'd love to go to that you haven't been yet?
I did Springfield, Missouri a few times. That was when I was truck driving. My company was based out of Springfield, so whenever I was home for a few days, I'd hit up an open mic. That was cool. It's a small crowd. It was more of a college-y. It was less stand-up comics, more improv comics telling stand-up jokes.
Yeah.
And you always know, and this is going to sound insulting to some of you, but I don't care. You can always tell an improv actor doing stand-up comedy because they'll always start with, so here's my story.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody who starts with, here's my story, they're like, oh, okay, you read this in a book. Or you learned this in a class, you know? And you know, not to discredit them at all. Some of them are incredibly funny. I've met some really funny people in Springfield.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it's that crowd. So. And that's what they expected, though. You know, so that's cool. You know, that's where you learn who your crowds are. They expected a little more storytelling. They wanted more storytelling instead of just quick one-liners.
Yeah.
So that was cool because I got to cut my teeth on that a little bit.
Do you find it to be easier to work with a younger crowd, or you know, is there like a specific age group you work with?
I just try not to get in my head about it. You know, because like I said early on, I used to get scared if the crowd was really old or really young, and now I just try to be relatable. You know what I mean? Yeah, if you're closer to my age, if you're in like your early 30s, yeah, it's gonna be a little easier for me to reach out to you because we're the same age. When it comes to young people, like tonight, I think I was the oldest person in the room, besides like a handful of people.
Besides, like the one guy.
Yeah, besides like the one guy in the corner and Muhammad. No, I'm even older than Muhammad. He's only in his 20s. So yeah. Yeah, I was probably one of the older people in the room today, and I had a great response. You know what I mean? So that's cool because now I'm not in my head about younger people. The comedy club that lets me MC out here pretty regularly. Gregory's, if you're ever in Cocoa Beach, Gregory's, Florida, Thursday and Friday nights at 9:30. Yeah, they let me MC there. That's a traditionally pretty older crowd. That's more of a shuffleboard community crowd. And
yeah, Cocoa Beach is an older community.
A lot of snowbirds in the winter shows, and but that's cool because I get to know what works with them, you know. And when I finally get a joke that works on a younger crowd, and then works out an older crowd, and then works at a crowd that's my age range, holy shit! I got to do that in one town. You know what I mean? I didn't have to travel to like, you know, if I was in Miami, I wouldn't have to travel to Delray to figure out if this worked for retired community, you know?
Yeah.
So that yeah, I try not to get in my head about who's in the crowd. I just try to just keep it to me and kind of let it talk for itself, which is really cocky to say, but
I think that's part of like that's more the introspective part of it again, like just being able to make sure you're doing it for you and you're hitting your own mark.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is the thought I had, this is the feeling I had. As long as I just portray that accurately in a funny way, it's going to be relatable.
Yeah.
You know, because there's no way I'm the only person who's had this thought or feeling. And if you haven't had it yet, chances are you've been closer, like, that's what that was.
Yeah.
You know? So,
two donkeys riding a unicycle? Kinda, but yeah. it was in that vein, but I'm glad you said it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't quite there, but I was close.
Now, have there been any like bad rooms that you've worked?
There's no such thing as a bad room, it's a bad comic. Now, there are rough rooms. All right, there are tough rooms. There are rooms that have a very demanding crowd. There are rooms that have a very rowdy crowd. And there is such a thing as a bad crowd. There is. But chances are somebody made them hostile. You know what I mean? It may not have been you. It may have been the comic before you. Or it may, you know, it could have been a whole factor of things. But yeah, there's no crowd starts bad. You know, nobody shows up to unless you're doing a bar show that nobody knew there was going to be a comedy show. Those are bad crowds because now you're fucking up their Thursday night. Like, I just wanted to come drink and watch the game. Who's this asshole with a microphone?
Yep.
Those are your bad crowds, but it's not that they're bad. They just
it's not the right situation.
Yeah, they didn't want a comedy night. They didn't know that it's ambush comedy. They didn't know this was going to be there.
I didn't want.
They wanted to get out of the house, right?
I didn't want comedy. I just wanted to come, drink my sorrows away for 3 hours, and then
and now you're over here. You're joking about a divorce that I'm going through right now. Thanks. I'm trying to drink myself through this.
Yeah.
But when you get any audience that actually knows there's a comedy show and came out to that, no one comes to a comedy show to be combative with a comic or to be an asshole. You know what I mean? If that's why you're going to a comedy show, you need to rethink your activities. But yeah, as far as I've had tough crowds, I've had crowds that I struggled with, but you know, I look back at it, it's like, yeah, I sucked that night.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where you have to hate yourself a little bit. Like, I hate myself enough. Like, that was a bad feeling. I never want to feel that feeling again. But I also hate myself a little bit, so I'm willing to risk feeling like that to get on stage again. That's what works for me. You know, that's kind of what works for me.
I think one of the greatest feelings about being on stage is like the risk reward of, all right, this is a new joke. I don't know how well it's gonna hit. If it hits, awesome. If it doesn't, maybe I'll try it again.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, there's
maybe-
nothing worse than a new joke bombing, especially when you're doing it at first. Because I know a lot of guys that, when they start out, they get this really good, really solid, 5 to 10 minutes, and never write another joke as long as they live.
Yep.
Because the risk of, but people like this, and risking losing that and having something suck, they can't take it. I know a lot of guys that don't like that. Some that are still doing it after 7 years.
You have to come to terms with, all right, not everything I say is going to hit. A lot of things I say are going to suck.
Right.
And if I can get through that, anything else from this point on could potentially be good.
Right. And again, that's where you just have to be confident enough in yourself to try it. Again, it's all a confidence thing. Most of the stuff I did, I told you before we started recording, 90% of the material I did tonight, I wrote sitting at the bar before I went on stage.
Yeah.
6 years ago, I would have never thought to do such a thing. I wouldn't even brought my notebook with me because I'm like, how dare I get out of my own head? No, this is my state. But the fact that I had this train of thought going on, and I was like, yeah, this is relatable. I'm pretty sure it's relatable, and I was confident enough with myself to sell it. I was just had a really good set tonight. It was, for 8 people, but I mean, like we said earlier, when the comics are getting involved in it, like the comics are giving an applause break to another comic.
Yeah.
That's a cool feeling. I'd rather have 3 comics give me an applause break rather than 400 audience members. Because comics are discerning assholes. So when they're looking up from their own notebooks, they're like, that was fucking great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it was when I can do that on stuff that I just wrote 20 minutes ago, it gets to feeling really good about myself again. So tomorrow, obviously, I'm gonna go bomb, stomp on myself, and again find my center, my cha, I like to call it.
Trying to think. Shit, it's late. What is something that you would give to what is a piece of information or like just wisdom that you would give to somebody that's like either just starting out or wants to get into doing comedy, like as something serious?
Give yourself a chance, man. Give yourself a chance. If you like, we just touched on it. If you suck, but you still want to do it again, do it. And I think that's really who makes it. People who get on stage suck and like, holy shit, I never want to do that again. But you do it anyway. Not to say that comedy's your thing, but chances are you might be on the right track. Like I said too, don't be afraid to write new stuff. Give it a shot. Give it a whirl. What's the worst that's gonna happen? People you don't know aren't gonna remember you. That's I've told that to a couple of guys who are doing really well for themselves right now, and it's cool because I get tagged on Facebook on some pretty cool posts like, hey, just started doing a residency at the Pit,
Yeah.
Or just started doing a month-long residency at New York Comedy Club. I had 2 guys that I met when they were just starting, and I wasn't anybody to get advice, but they, we were talking, and they were like, dude, like this stuff, like hanging out with you, talking to you, that's the only reason I'm still doing this. And I've got a couple guys that tell me that, which is, that's cool. That really is a cool feeling. And that's the advice I always give them. Just keep at it. Don't get discouraged by a bad night. We all have bad nights. Everybody, Louis C.K. had a lot of bad nights. Don't get so hard and don't put the pressure on yourself to do well right away. Give yourself a chance to learn this. It's a long game. Don't expect to get famous overnight. It's not gonna happen, and if that's what you want to have happen, sorry, dude. That's all I got for you.
Now, I remember we touched on it earlier. The story of that when you were working at the hotel.
Yeah.
That is the second favorite story you've ever told me. And I really would love for you to tell it again.
Oh, which one? The hotel one?
The one with the VIP guest.
That's like the hot guy.
Which one are we talking about? The one with the credit card?
No.
Which VIP guest?
Having the care.
The one who told you when you were. Can I say the job you had?
Yeah. Well, I was security. That means nothing.
No.
when you told him to not smoke in the room, but on the balcony.
Oh, yeah, okay, I'm not saying his name. Yeah, so we had, so I used to work at a hotel in South Beach.
Yeah.
And if you've ever been to South Beach, Miami on Memorial Day weekend, it's a very, very hip-hop crowd. We had a celebrity staying in one of our rooms, and what we gave specials to police, like out-of-town police, because it kept cops in our hotel, and it kept a lot of the riffraff out.
Yeah.
So this rapper was staying in a hotel room about 2 or 3 doors down from a cop.
Yeah.
And we started getting complaints of weed smoke. So me and a friend of mine went up there, and he was like, dude, I don't want to be involved in this. This might get ugly. So his pussy ass left out on me. I don't tell that part on stage, but his ass left me. And I knocked on the door, and one of his entourage comes up. And I just took this huge fucking breath because I got hit with this cloud of smoke. And I was just like, excuse me, sir, I have to inform you that we don't allow smoking in our hotel rooms. Can I please come in and ask you to extinguish that? And then I exhaled. Because I needed to say it, but I also wanted him to know that I was in on it. Like, you know? So the guy at the door didn't know what to think of me, but the guy started laughing, the rapper. And he's like, yo, come in. So I get in the room, and it's like 20 people, and they've all got they all got this blunt. Each of them got one in their hand. And they were smoking, they were fogging the room out, which is something you do. I get it. I do it all the time. But now when I'm staying at a 5-star hotel with cops, so I told him, I was like, hey, listen, what you do is your business. I don't care. I'm a huge fan, by the way. But just a heads up, you've got a cop staying 3 doors down from here, and I can't stop them from knocking on your door and doing anything. And he was like, holy shit, good looking out. I'm like, can you just open the window, go to the balcony, keep it outside? At least pretend. Yeah. At least pretend you're trying to help me out. And he was like, yo, good looking out. Yo, break him off. And I got a tip for it. He tipped me for tipping him off. You know what I mean? Like, I got paid to be a snitch. And that was working in a hotel industry, you meet a lot of people, man, and especially working at higher ends. You know, luckily I didn't work at like Motel 6 or those little cheap. Like I worked at some pretty higher end hotels, met a lot of really cool people. Yeah. I made a celebrity. He was checking in late. I was working the overnight shift. I made him laugh so hard he snorted. That was amazing to me. I was like, oh shit, I just did. And I wasn't even trying to be funny. I was just talking to the guy. You know what I mean? So that was cool. There's a lot there. Anything else you want to hear about?
I don't want to like hit any like the cliche topics like that.
Yeah.
I hate hitting the cliche topics with people.
Don't be cliche. Fuck, let it. Like, take it where you want to take it. Get out of your head. It's nice out here.
What do you think is? How do I want to word this? With words. How do words good? What do you think is the best approach to writing new material?
Oh god, there is none. Whatever works for you, man. Whatever works. I know guys who can sit down and schedule like an hour or two a day and sit there and write incessantly and nonstop. I can't do that shit, dude. I go so far. Well, it's a lot quicker now. I don't go so far between writing sessions. But yeah, I can't force myself to sit and write. I can't do it. And when I do, shit gets produced. As opposed to, when something strikes me, I write it down. The biggest lie I told myself for years was, oh dude, you'll remember that. I've got like more apps. Most of the apps on my phone are note-taking apps. Like whatever I can get to quickest is where I got to get this thought out. On top of my voice recorder. Like if I'm driving and I have a thought, I just record it. I always keep a notebook around because you never know when the muse is going to strike, And
when that one line that you hear goes through one ear and out the other, you have to try to grab it before
you gotta get it quick. Yeah. Yep. That's one of those things where I say don't put the pressure on yourself. That's one of those things. Don't put the pressure on yourself to sit down and write an hour a day every day. Sure, it's a great writing exercise. Absolutely, give it a shot. But know where to mine your material from. I don't mind mine from sitting down and writing for an hour. I mind my shit from just whatever thought happens, or whatever conversation I'm having, or whatever I saw go down, or whatever random thought crossing my mind. That's when I write my best material. Sure, I'll this show is cool at Ballbusters because there's a topic every week.
Yeah.
And I use that as a writing exercise. I absolutely will write something to that theme. But, again, just to get that out, sometimes I get some really good stuff out of it. You know what I mean? But for the most part, I never do any of the stuff that I write for the show because I force myself to sit and write. But it gets me in that. You had when we did that podcast during the show, the live one.
Yeah.
You had that one where you gave us that five topics off a card.
Yeah.
And we had to write our set off of that. That was really fun to me. I was like, I just walked in that night. I just picked 5 cards. I remember I got mad at someone because he was actually looking at the cards and going through them.
Yeah.
It's like, stop being a pussy. Grab the first 5 fucking cards you get and write your goddamn set about it. Oh, what if they don't make sense? Well, that's where you fucking come in.
Yeah.
Stop being a goddamn vagina. So I just, dealt 5 cards out to myself face down. I went to the bar and I came up with a pretty decent set that night.
You lucked out. You had gotten like 5 of like the most like ambiguous topics too.
And they were pretty random.
Yeah.
It went from like my mom and dad are working on their sex life to Instagram models.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to what would Jerry Seinfeld do?
Yeah.
So it was fun because they were ambiguous. There was no rhyme or reason to them, and they were just so opposite of each other. Like, how the fuck do you throw this in together? And that was fun, and I like putting pieces together. I like doing puzzles. So to me that was like, how do I get these 5 pieces to fit together? And that was fun to me. I like that kind of stuff. So yeah, whenever you get like a writing exercise, my advice when it comes to writing, to get back on point, just do whatever works for you, man. Don't put the pressure on yourself to do it like another person does.
Yeah.
Carlin, I don't know how true it is or not, but I heard Carlin did every word that Carlin said is a word that he wrote. He didn't ad-lib much, if any. You know what I mean? So, and that worked for Carlin. I mean, look at him. It's one of the greats. And you get people that are like Robin Williams, who I don't think's ever had a fluid thought longer than 3 minutes on stage. Obviously, very well prepared material. I mean, obviously sat down to write. But you can't tell me he's never ad-libbed. You know what I mean? You can't tell me he's never just gone off, gone off the cuff. And that, look, he's, again, a legend. So you find what works for you, and you find what's easier for you to come up with palatable material to push and sell yourself. And if once you figure that out, just stick with it. Switch it up. You may find something new, but never be afraid to try anything new. But definitely find your wheelhouse and stick to that.
I've always found that like true artistry, like masters of a craft, always have like a touch of madness to them. There's always that little everything lines up perfectly except for this one piece. And that one piece is what makes them who they are.
Yeah.
And you see it from everybody from Robin Williams to George Carlin, even to Prince.
It's a spark of madness. Yeah.
Yeah. There's always that one thing about them that's just like so out of place, and you're just like, but it's them.
That's what pushed. That's what made. I mean, everybody has that too. Everybody has it. It's who has the ability to tap into that.
Yeah.
And market it. Really is what it is at the end of the day. But not just market it, but who has the ability to tap into that and really set themselves apart to a point where it's noticeable.
Yeah.
And that's anywhere, not just entertainment and business. Donald Trump. Say what you want to say about him, but you know who he is, and he might be he's a business guy, but he's a little touch, and he found out how to make that touch work for him. It's being askew
for him, not for everybody else.
Not for everyone else, but hey, it works. You know his name. I'm talking about him.
Yeah.
Hey, even Kevin Smith, his whole production company is View Askew. Because you have to be a little off kilter, and when you find out how to make your off kilter relatable to everyone, because everyone's a little off kilter, so you learn to tap into that one common denominator we all have. It doesn't matter what you do. You just learn. It's all about people liking you enough to want to do business with you, whether it's in entertainment or like in business.
Yeah. And you literally within the span of 30 seconds, you mentioned like two of the most talked about topics that we do on the podcast. Like we had done the Clerks commentary a couple weeks ago, and then like me and Mitch always do like me and Mitch are very I don't want to say like politically minded, but we're very much want to know what's going on in the world around us and how this little effect here is going to go long term here. So like something even as minuscule as trying to think of a minuscule topic, but I'm not. All the ones I'm talking about like coming to mind from tonight.
Yeah, no, you try to be worldly about yourself. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I get it. I can't do politics, and that's a horrifying thing to say. I'm 32, I vote. I should absolutely pay more attention to politics.
You're a comic. You should have like a solid like 5 minutes.
You know what it is? Politics piss me off. You know what I mean? Like, both sides, I think, are idiots. Both sides are dominated by idiots. Far left, far right, I don't care where you are. And we don't have enough voices in the middle of common sense. Stewart, look at Jon Stewart. The reason Jon Stewart played it, was so successful is because he was pretty middle of the road.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, definitely middle of the road with a huge liberal tilt. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. But I mean, he was real quick to call the Democrats out on this shit. Like, what the fuck are you thinking?
Yeah.
We don't. I wish politics were a little more like that, which is more, common sense dictated. Yes, you need people whose opinions are on the far side of both spectrums. But I wish we had more people that could come in the middle and be like, hey, that's a good idea. Let's reel that in a little bit. And let's pitch it to this side, because whether we agree with them or not, we do have to work with them.
Yeah.
And chances are we may make more people happy than we piss off. Just watching politics now, the more and more I try to get into it, the more pissed I get with the world, and I just want to move to Europe. it's it. And I'm speaking of European languages, and the English, the English-speaking countries that do, I don't have the accent to fit in.
Spain has a lot of good places.
I can't deal with that accent.
You can't?
I speak Spanish, absolutely. Spaniards and Argentinians, so their accent. I know to most people, Spanish sounds like Spanish. It doesn't matter where you're from, but native speakers, we hear accents. It's like someone from New York and someone from Texas don't sound the same.
Oh no,
we get that. Like, somebody from the north part of Colombia doesn't sound like someone from the central part, and then Argentinians sound like Italians who are impressed with how much Spanish they can speak. You know what I mean? I don't know why they speak Spanish with an Italian accent, but they absolutely do. Even the Pope is got an Italian last name, but it's like Boboli or Boblioni or something like that. Like, I don't know why they're Italians in South America, but they are.
I can tell you exactly why. World War II, after the Axis powers fell, it was Germany, Japan, Italy, and like a couple other small places. The people that were the bad guys, essentially, they all fled to South America.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of native German speakers, a lot of native Italian speakers.
Yeah.
And
people that were fleeing too, like Don Francisco used to run Sábado Gigante. It was a huge variety show.
Yep.
And it just got canceled. Or not canceled, he just retired.
Yeah.
He went until he retired. That's how good the show was.
Yeah.
And every Spanish person grew up watching that at home. And he was German. He was a German Jew. They were exiles. So that, learning that was fun. Hey, yeah, we know why Argentinians have Italian accents. It's just fun to make fun of because, fuck Argentina.
Spanish community has so much rivalry in it.
We don't like each other because we all play soccer. That's why. It's soccer. You want to piss off soccer hooligan? Go to England's got nothing. England has a lot. England has a lot. Come to South America and talk shit about. Argentina has soccer gangs, and they're one of the better off countries. And they got like one of their most wanted fugitives is leads a soccer gang.
that sounds almost as absurd as the Main Street elite gangs of Disney World. That sounds absurd.
No, it's a horrifying thing. It's their Mustangs and Rockets.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's. But that's what it is. But yeah, we hear what was it? We hear those accents. So yeah, moving to Spain, they speak with that lispy Z. Mm-hmm. I can't do it. I can't. And then the Spanish I speak is very Americanized. So I wouldn't fit in. They would know straight off the bat I'm not from there.
Oh man. What do you? I know you don't do much politics, but when it comes to something that you see that there's a huge problem with, if there was one thing the one problem that stands out to you the most, what is it, and how would you work for it?
God, healthcare, man. Fuck healthcare. It pisses me off that we don't have better healthcare. How are we the best country in the world and we can't take care of our own people? I get it. It's a free market society, and you can't be successful. Fine, that's fine. Everybody gets a fair enough shake, I think, and that's fine. But fuck healthcare. We should be able to take care of people.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't care. And people are like, oh, well, where's the money going to come from? My fucking taxes. I have no problem paying more taxes if I know people are benefiting from it. I'm not saying create a welfare state. That's where I fall a little more to the conservative side. I think we should have welfare, but I think the system's way too easy to manipulate. We should take care of the people that need help. We should take care of, like, newer mothers. We should have better maternity leave policies. We should have, you know, there should be things that are better that we don't do because we're afraid of pissing people off. And it's just, the view should be, you can't call yourself the greatest country in the world when you can't take care of your own people. All right, we spend more money on military, and I'm a veteran. All right, I'm a veteran who thinks we spend too much money on the military. We don't need this much shit. We spend money on shit we don't use. That new fighter jet that we can't fly because it turns, you know, yeah, because it shuts off in mid-flight. Yeah, that was a great $4 billion investment. I'm sure we couldn't have put a couple free lunches on some tables with that money. You know, it's just, people want to bitch so much about, you know, Obamacare, and I don't like Obamacare myself.
I don't either.
Fuck, it was a step in the right direction. Somebody had to do something. I don't like it. I think it was the wrong idea, but it's something.
It took 3 steps forward, 3 steps forward, and 4 steps back.
It did. It did.
It was going good for a while, and then somebody did something somewhere. It's just like, fuck.
Yeah. And, you know, I'm one of those, you know, I'm not like a bleeding heart liberal. Yeah, if you're an illegal immigrant, and this is, you know, again, the son of an immigrant, yeah, if you're illegal, yeah, no, you don't get our health care. Absolutely not. You pay retail prices. That's, you know, I have no problem with that. But we're like, oh, well, they're here, they're working. They're here illegally. You know, okay, I'm not saying deport all of them. They've been here making a living, doing good, contributing to society. Maybe we should give a little bit of a path to them. But until they're illegal, no, fuck them. They don't get free health care. They don't get any of the stuff that we get as citizens. That's privilege. That's the privilege of being an American.
If me working part-time, if I can't even get, like, food stamps or anything, I feel like I'm being put at a loss if somebody else is getting free stuff.
Oh, speaking of, Sanders just won Oregon.
Yeah, I figured that much. Him and Hillary, they basically, like, less than 1% for Kentucky.
Yeah?
That came through like an hour ago, and she won it by like 0.5%.
Of course she did.
I think it was down to less than 5,000 votes in Kentucky.
Oh, he's going to contend that. There's no way they got all the votes counted yet. They're just calling it.
He's going to contend it, but I also think that him being that close when her and Obama were vying for it in 2007, she wrecked Obama by 30%.
Yeah.
And he ended up winning the nomination.
Yeah.
And this has been like a continuing trend where she's been winning by very small margins in states.
Yeah.
Where in 2007 she had won by larger margins.
Yeah.
And now with, you know, California has like almost 500 delegates at stake.
Yeah.
If he gets 2/3 of those delegates, he's in the lead. Everybody's gonna. They don't care how much.
I don't think Sanders is gonna get that much of California. I hope he does.
He's been polling. I think he can do it when it comes to California.
I've been paying attention to the polls. Yeah.
When it comes to California, you have California. When it comes to California, you have ultra liberal and ultra conservative.
Oh yeah, you get the
You have the two
you get the
ends of the
crazies from both
spectrum.
sides. Yeah.
That's where he does the best. Hillary is the moderate for both sides.
That's true.
I think California he could pull away with 2/3. With the polls, he does better than Trump by margins of 10%.
Oh yeah, he's going to do
more.
better than Trump in California.
Hillary, there's been a couple of polls where Hillary hasn't even beaten Trump. She's lost by 3 or 4%.
She's gonna get all the delegates anyway because that's how the primaries work. There's a parody video. I put it up on Facebook not so long, but it's great. He said, for those of you that don't know how Democratic primaries work, what happens is you go in, Democrats vote for Bernie Sanders, and they give their delegates to Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
And it's great. And it's one of those, like, I'm one of those, I'm not a conspiracy nut, but I'm pretty sure that the only reason Hillary's winning, like, getting all of those is because 8 years ago they were promised to her when they said, hey, listen, let's put this guy up, and in 8 years, you're our gal. And now she's cashing in a lot of favors, cashing in a lot of, calling out a lot of promises. Well, because she needs to.
The head of the DNC was the woman in charge of her campaign in 2008.
Yeah. It's Ross Levin, isn't it?
No, Wasserman Schultz.
Oh, okay. Wasserman Schultz. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. She's the one in charge, and it's just like, how can you be not partisan to this, when you have the person who was in charge of your campaign being like, this all looks good.
Yeah.
Everything checks out on paper.
Again, 8 years ago she was promised.
It was a joke that they put up the black guy, and because he won, they're just like, all right, we'll give this one.
We owe
Don't
you
worry.
this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now people don't want her.
Oh yeah, because she fucked up. She fucked up immensely.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't trust her face. I don't trust her haircut. I just don't trust her. There's a lot there I don't trust. And again, I do lean liberal, I do, but I'm conservative enough where like I'm not too convinced by Bernie either. But I dislike Trump enough to vote for him.
Yeah,
absolutely. I absolutely dislike Trump enough to vote for him.
I think in the next few weeks before the Republican convention, I have this theory that Congress is going to put up a Republican nominee, and they will edge Trump out and have their nominee be in. Doesn't matter who they pick, it's going to be somebody.
I'm sorry, but I'm
They as much as the left has regressed and is eating itself from its tail, the right can't stand to have somebody who was a former liberal be in charge of their party. There is not enough backroom stock trades that can happen to make up for that.
I really hope you're right. I really do.
The other part of that is Trump comes out and he's just like, listen, I was trolling everybody. I really love women, free healthcare, everything.
Bernie 2016. Yeah. He announced himself as Bernie Sanders running mate.
Yeah.
Oh, you got us, you son of a bitch. He's our Sarah Palin. Yeah, I hope you're right.
No, I think it's one of those two.
Yeah, I can't. I just, again, it pisses me off when we talk about politics.
Yeah. Well, in that case, I think this would be a good place to stop.
All right.
Yeah, we just hit an hour. So.
All right.
All right, man. Any social media you want to plug, or any spots you hit up?
Hit me up on Twitter at SoberGuyAtABar. Find me on Facebook, Jay Alvarez, Alvarez.
No dash.
No. Well, Facebook.com J.Alvarez.
But no dash between the Alvarez.
No dash between the Alvarez. I'm not Al Qaeda, you dick. So yeah, J.Alvarez on Facebook, at SoberGuyAtABar on Twitter. I'm pulling up my calendar. I'm going to be at Gregory's Comedy Club in Cocoa Beach.
Alright, I'm about to go to
Here, as soon as I can pull my head out of my own ass.
We all do it. It's
guys.
okay.
I'm normally much more prepared than this.
It's all right.
I'll be at Gregory's Comedy Club on June 16th and June 17th. I'll be hosting that night. I don't know who's featuring or headlining yet, but it's always a fun time out there.
Is it a free show?
It is not a free show. It is a $12 cover.
Where can they buy tickets?
You can buy tickets at the door, or you can go to, I don't know the website, if you Google Gregory's Upstairs Comedy Club, Cocoa Beach, Florida, it'll take you straight to the site.
All right, cool. All right, that was Cappuccino Cunnilingus, episode 14, with my guest, Jay Alvarez. Thank you for coming on, and what is it, end of the month, the 31st of May is when we do the next live comedy show.
All right.
So, I guess I'll see you there.
Yeah,
If I don't see you next week, then I'll see you there.
All right, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, thanks for coming on. Have a good night.